President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi meets African Constitutional and Supreme Court heads at the 8th conference hosted by Egypt's Supreme Constitutional Court. President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi and Concentrax CEO discussed the company's growth and its role in enhancing Egypt's IT infrastructure. Egypt participates in the United Nations Human Rights Council's Universal Periodic Review Working Group for the 4th time. You're watching the latest updates from Egypt on Qnews. Let's move on to the latest developments. President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi has met with the heads of the African Constitutional and Supreme Courts participating in the 8th conference organized by the Egyptian Supreme Constitutional Court. President el-Sisi has underscored the importance Egypt places on fostering and strengthening the role of the judiciary in African societies. He emphasized the importance of judicial independence, the rule of law, and human rights, highlighting the key role of judicial institutions in maintaining security and stability across Africa. Sisi also stressed the need for collective efforts to address challenges to integrity of states. President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi has met with CEO of Concentrax, an American outsourcing company, to discuss the company's growth, emphasizing its alignment with Egypt's efforts to enhance communications and IT infrastructure. President el-Sisi emphasized the government's commitment to offering investment incentives to attract both international and local companies, aiming to improve services and boost the competitiveness of Egypt's outsourcing industry as part of the Digital Egypt strategy. Concentrax plans to increase its workforce in Egypt from 20,000 to 35,000 by 2028, making it the largest outsourcing center in Africa and the Middle East. A high-level Egyptian source has denied a phone call has happened between the Egyptian and American presidents. The source told Qnews that any phone call by Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi is announced according to the usual protocol with heads of state. The official source stressed that the necessary accuracy should have been verified, especially regarding a call at this level at such a critical time for the Middle East region. Minister of Foreign Affairs Badr Abdelati has outlined the country's human rights progress, citing strong political will as key to improvements. Minister Abdelati acknowledged challenges posed by regional and global crises, but reaffirmed Egypt's foundation on principles of citizenship, democracy and human rights. He highlighted Egypt's remarkable progress in various sectors and emphasized President Sisi's commitment to the National Human Rights Strategy. He also discussed Egypt's New Beginning for Human Building initiative aimed at fostering development and reaffirmed Egypt's rejection of both temporary and long-term displacement, stressing that there are no refugee camps in the country. Earlier in the day, Minister of Foreign Affairs and Immigration Badr Abdulati has stressed the necessity of establishing an independent Palestinian state with territories on the lines of June 4, 1967, with East Jerusalem as its capital. Minister Abdulati highlighted Egypt's role in brokering the Gaza ceasefire and hostage exchange with Qatar and the United States, stressing the need for adherence to the agreement and humanitarian aid access. He reaffirmed support for the two-state solution and an independent Palestinian state with East Jerusalem as its capital. The minister also expressed Egypt's commitment to Syria's sovereignty and political process. He also welcomed Lebanon's political progress and addressed Egypt's economic challenges amid regional instability and disruptions in the Red Sea and the Suez Canal. Minister of Social Solidarity Maya Morsi has stated Egypt continues to provide vital humanitarian aid at both regional and international levels, despite challenges posed by geopolitical factors. The minister highlighted Egypt's commitment to supporting those in need despite global challenges. She also announced the law on the rights of persons with disabilities, promoting opportunities in education and employment. Additionally, she highlighted Egypt's Decent Life initiative, Haya Karima, received international acclaim for its role in achieving the UN Sustainable Development Goals. Minister of Parliamentary Legal Affairs and Political Communication Mahmoud Fawzi has stated Egypt continues its human rights progress through legislative reforms. Minister Fawzi highlighted the National Dialogue Initiative, which has provided a platform for all the segments of the society to contribute to national priorities. He also emphasized that the Criminal Procedure Code now guarantees comprehensive protection for victims, informants, and witnesses, while upholding the accused's right to silence and ensuring trial procedures are public. He added that in line with constitutional and international obligations, Egypt has also worked to modernize its criminal justice system. The representative of Egyptian Ministry of Justice to Geneva has emphasized Egypt's significant efforts to develop civil courts and implement electronic litigation procedures. He stressed that Egypt adopted a comprehensive approach to reforming the litigation system guided by constitutional provisions while preserving national values and identity. These reforms are being implemented alongside workshops aimed at improving the judicial process and strengthening the country's legal framework. He also emphasized the country's focus on enhancing judicial members' capabilities through international training programs. Egypt's human rights strategy aims to advance civil, political, economic, social, and cultural rights, promoting equality and opportunities for all. Egypt has condemned the targeting of Saudi hospital in Al Fashir city in North Darfur state, which led to the killing of a large number of citizens who sought medical services at the hospital. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs called it a violation of international humanitarian and human rights law. Egypt urged an end to the escalation in Al Fashir, which has led to more innocent casualties, and offered condolences to the Sudanese people. Recent reports state that around 70 people were killed in the bombing of the Saudi hospital in Al Fashir during ongoing clashes. For further analysis, we're joined from Cairo by Dr. Osama Said, editor-in-chief of Al Akhbar daily newspaper. Welcome to Qnews, sir. And let's go back to Egypt's participation in that very important event. What key human rights issues Egypt addressed during its Universal Periodic Review?
Firstly, the human rights issue that have a great importance in the Egyptian state, and as the human rights isn't just a domestic but universal, and it's a great concern of this file, and I think Egypt has moved throughout the past years in different levels with respect to the human rights that enabled it to achieve several achievements regarding economic, social rights. As having a great priority in developing countries, Egypt managed to make a great success of the housing and providing the affordable housing of several citizens and leveling the livelihood of the citizens in the country of Egypt. So we're talking about 60 million population in great numbers of governorates. We're also talking about the provision of education opportunities by establishing new universities and schools, and increasing the student density in the classrooms in different governorates. We're talking also about great and important initiatives regarding improving the health conditions and the provision of health care to the public. The adopting a decree of comprehensive health care led by the government to elevate the level of the style living of Egypt, as well as legal and political rights. The Egypt state paid a great concern of these rights and managed to improve at large in Egypt's fight in this context. The House of Representatives is currently discussing a great important decree of the criminal code measurement, in addition to pay concern in improving the public freedoms in the Egyptian societies.
Mm-hmm. So how effective have Egypt's recent legal reforms been in promoting and protecting human rights?
It is a very important question, which is having a great debate in the periodic revisions of Egypt's human rights file. And I think that the House of Representatives and the legitimate institutions have managed to achieve a success in this context. In a few minutes, I was indicating a very important law related to the criminal code, which is importantly to provide guarantees of defendants who are facing trials. In addition, Egypt has managed to have amendments, decrees related to the public freedoms, particularly the issues of publishing the information on the social media platforms and through the electronic platforms. Egypt created a law of disregard that having guarantees related to the private rights. In my perspective, there is a need of a several discussion of several laws in the upcoming period. There is a repetitive demand by those who are working in the media, in the publication in general, to adopt a law of the freedom of information exchange. And I think when it is issued, will be an added value of Egypt's record in improving human rights condition and provide more opinions and guarantees to the independence and the freedom of media means related to the issue of the society and Egypt's communities. And I think Egypt has a political will of that direction. Yes. And we've seen in positive indicators through debates in the national dialogue called
and that was clearly explained by Egypt's delegation in the event. Thank you very much, Dr. Osama Saeed, editor-in-chief of Al Akhbar Daily newspaper. Thank you very much for joining us here on Q News. And ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of our news bulletin. Here is what we have been covering. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi meets African Constitutional and Supreme Court heads at the 8th conference hosted by Egypt's Supreme Constitutional Court. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi and Concentrax CEO discussed the company's growth and its role in enhancing Egypt's IT infrastructure. And Egypt participates in the United Nations Human Rights Council's Universal Periodic Review Working Group for the 4th time. That's all for now. Remember to stay updated by following Q News for the latest developments. I'm Hala Al-Hamalawi. Thank you very much for watching.